see. Got to see you again at Chili Fest, and always good to do so. Ted, we want to bring something else to the Taylorville Square. We know about Chili Fest, 40 years of it. But coming up is the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and that's what we've been working so hard on, even during this last year, to put in place for next year. I'm just wondering, from your point of view, why this is so important, not only to you, but so many of the people that you've already gotten involved in it.
Well, Grayson, when I joined the fire department, I came to learn that it's a lot more than just spraying water on a fire. The training, the commitment of those that are firefighters, EMTs, police, and seeing what's happening, how our police are being scorned, mistreated, how they're looked down on, people wanting to defund the police. These people are dedicated to their jobs. And yeah, there's few that, go astray, but that's human nature. And to know how committed 99.9% of these first responders are to the needs of those that they serve, and see how things are going in the world, in the United States, it just makes me want to give these people the credit that they really deserve.
And I think you'll be able to do so not only for the present, but also for the past. When you're talking the 25th anniversary of 9/11, you've got some of those people on your board right now and on board with you. And that, to me, is a very important first step of this process. We had Matt Aderman join us the last time he was here, or you were here. And he's all on board for this. I mean, so too is down in Pana. We're talking about bringing a girder. There's a lot of folks getting behind you, Ted.
That I've really, I'm overwhelmed by the community involvement, the leadership, the city council, the mayor, 100%, the police department, Taylorville Police, Christian County Sheriff's Office, 100% behind it, Christian County Board, 100% behind it, Pana Fire, they're with us. Chief Ederman has talked to the MABUS, which brings all of the county fire departments together for mutual aid. All of the fire departments are 100% behind this endeavor. And, this is something that a lot of our young people, they don't realize the impact. And then I see what's going on in the United States today, the rioting, not wanting to deport criminal elements that came into our country illegally, not supporting more the Hamas and everything, to see our flag being burnt and the flags of Palestine and other nations being flown in demonstrations, it just goes against my grain.
It certainly does, and in some ways certainly would. And for you, you mentioned just how many people are already on board there. So now that you've kind of got some of the basis for this, you know that the Taylorville Square is likely going to be the best place for it. You know that you're going to have the help of Pana, like the police department, the fire department, MABUS now, and maybe some things like the Witt Fire Protection District and things of that nature, Stonington. We've got to get them all out there, though, right? This has got to be a Christian County deal, not just a Taylorville deal. You want this to be a Christian County deal.
Yeah, my vision is to get all of Christian County involved, not just Taylorville, because this is not just something that affected Taylorville. This affected our entire nation, not just Christian County, not just Illinois. It had a devastating effect on people throughout America who just couldn't believe that something like this could occur. And we've become, it's been almost 25 years now. A lot of people, younger people, don't know anything about it. But most of us that were around and witness it on TV, it has had an effect on our life. And I am so proud of our young people now that are volunteering for service in our armed forces, stepping up where enlistments had declined quite a bit. Now they're surging again. If we let down our guard, we will get hit again. And we're seeing that already occurring in various places, the demonstrations, the riots, the disregard for personal property, public property, even our governmental properties are being attacked. And we, as an American, it just irritates me that we're allowing this to take place.
And what we're doing by having a ceremony for the 25th anniversary is kind of going against some of that in some ways too, kind of a counter to it. But also just the recognition of those folks, like our first responders. You mentioned a lot of the news and some of the limelight has been negative, and we'd like to make a much more positive spin on it, if at all possible. One thing you wanted to mention to us, and I certainly want to make time for it, is just really kind of what transpired that day on 9/11, the casualties that were inflicted, the damage that was done. What can you tell us on some of your kind of personal side of things too?
Well, I know that on my personal side, I had just joined the Taylorville Fire as a volunteer about a year and a half before that happened, and happened to be at the firehouse the day that it occurred, had gone for training, and went up into the day room and watched it occur on television, and just sat awestruck and just almost in shock over what was occurring. 3 planes that struck, 2 the World Trade Center towers, 1 at the Pentagon, and then the one that went down in Pennsylvania. 2,977 fatalities, 2,753 at the World Trade Center, 184 at Pentagon, and 40 on Flight 97. And it occurred with commercial airplanes. It wasn't jet fighters. It wasn't bombers. They used commercial airplanes with innocent victims of all ages on those flights that perished that day. I can't imagine what they went through those last few moments, knowing that their planes had been hijacked. And, we got kind of a battle cry out of it, "Go Brandon," because of it. It just, the attacks were well planned. They were coordinated. And actually was a second attack on the World Trade Centers. One occurred several years before that in 93 when bombs were placed in the garage under the World Trade Center. And of course, it wasn't as effective. And of those fatalities, 343 firefighters, 71 law enforcement, 8 paramedics, 55 military, and all this was brought on by 19 terrorists. We were taken by surprise. It just shows that in our daily life, we don't know when something like this can happen.
And we take it for granted.
We do.
That is not going to happen again. But as we know, history has a tendency to repeat itself, especially when you do let your guard down. And you don't remember that history. And that's why we're talking to Ted Chapman today about the 25th anniversary of 9/11. Ted is coordinating. He is putting together a lot of things on the behind the scenes to make this all happen. So we're going to come back with Ted, and we're going to talk more about this ceremony coming up as of next year. But it is the 25th anniversary of it. All the more reason to really acknowledge what took place that day. You'll be listening to WTIM, your information station. And we're brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville.
Your information station. WTIM.
and athletes that represent our community by being the exclusive sponsor of the WTIM Nicole Patrick Country Financial Player of the Game. During Tornado Sports broadcasts this school year, WTIM announcers will select a player at the end of each game who will receive a certificate for being named our Player of the Game. Good luck to all the teams this season, and go Tornadoes!
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Reddings of the Bob Reddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station. WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us, Ted Chapman, 25th anniversary 9/11 event coordinator planned for the Taylorville Square. Ted and I were talking about a little bit of background with it and why this means just so much and all the support that has already been garnered from the community. Ted, I'm just wondering we don't have a ton of time left here, but I'm wondering what else we need to get out there here today.
Well, one thing, I want to thank the radio here. They enabled me to get in touch with a bagpiper. So, there's a special ceremony that we have whenever a firefighter passes on. It's a bell ceremony and usually a bagpiper and Amazing Grace. But the main thing is to keep this alive in our hearts and our minds and know that something like this could occur at any time. We sent jets over to bomb in Iran, completely undetected, unannounced. So we got to realize that we are not invincible. We can be penetrated. And being a veteran myself, I love this country. I have always lived in Illinois, except my time in the military. And I don't like what I see occurring in a lot of our cities in our country nowadays. So I would like to keep this up and just let people know we're not invincible any longer. We're not set apart.
I think what we have hopefully accomplished with some of these interviews is, one, getting you a bagpiper. I don't mind hearing about that, of course. But two, just keeping that going and keeping that at least in thoughts and in the back of the mind. So, Ted, thank you for joining us here as you have over the last couple months, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple more.
Thank you for having me, and God bless.
God bless you, Ted. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, our morning show brought to you by People's Bank and Trust.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville.
96.1 FM Taylorville.
107.5 FM.